Hi, I'm Joshua, one of the co-founders of Bonfire.
Hi, I'm Vai, the other co-founder of Bonfire.
So I grew up in Los Angeles and went to Wesleyan University. And at Wesleyan, I discovered that many people go abroad. And I found a program outside of Kathmandu, Nepal, applied to it and got in and spent a semester there. And at the time, Nepal was the second poorest country per capita GDP on earth. The average Nepali made about $350 a year. And yet what was so striking to me was how rich these people were in terms of living fulfilling and happy lives surrounded by love and surrounded by community. If someone had an issue in the village, if someone was sick, if someone was getting married, there was always resources and community available. And I contrasted that with my own life growing up in Southern California in a rich country, in a rich city like LA, and yet, the divorce rates are more than 50% and people are pretty unhappy. And I think part of our unhappiness is this sort of false belief that we're not connected to one another, that we're isolated and we live in silos, and that's very much kind of in the West. And I saw in Nepal an entirely different way of being, and that's people coming together, to solve problems. And that's really the impetus behind Bonfire. It's like, yeah, this entire housing market is totally screwed up. Like younger people are not gonna buy homes the way that their parents' generation did. It looks bleak on the surface, and yet, there's another way. And that's what we're trying to create right now, is our tools that empower people, to come together and own real estate.
I grew up in India in a very small town called Meerut. My father was in a job which had like transfers. It's a thing in India that people move, their office moved them every few years. So I moved a lot across India. I lived at different parts of India early on. I also grew up in a family of businessmen. Like, other than my father, everybody had some business, something which was family run. And all my life I have seen those businesses growing, collapsing, or sort of extending. And I was part of them from very, very early in my childhood. I started helping my family with some business. I have been part of businesses like milk factory or automobile showroom, or even like confectionery stores or like bakeries and all that. So I have done a lot of businesses since my childhood. Like I was 10-year-old and I was doing all these businesses. Real estate was the means for my family to save up. Whatever we saved month over month, year over year, we eventually invested in real estate. And that's how we were able to do big things like my education. These real estate investments actually paid up for my education. I co-founded, built, and sold 3 companies in the past. And Bonfire is the single biggest opportunity in my lifetime.
To launch Bonfire, Vi and I have been joined by technologists, hacktivists, builders, and entrepreneurs. If you're interested in helping 1 billion people have access to real estate in the next 10 years, please join us.